Where are we?
We are in Washington, D.C., and that is the Washington Monument, literally right behind us.
But that's for next video's adventures. First, how we got here, coming up the Potomac River.
Staying on the path that I've chosen, straight up. Come my way and I'll see you at the top. 'Cause something's gonna happen in this story, and I can feel it coming, like the rising of the sun.
So we had an amazingly smooth crossing of the Chesapeake Bay over from the eastern shore after we wrapped up in Salisbury and got into one of the first protected coves to kind of rest and recharge after an 8-hour crossing. And that was up the St. Mary's River to St. Mary's.
Yeah, this is the historic St. Mary's City, was the original first city in Maryland, founded way, way back in colonial times, and this was the original state capital of Maryland for a very long time until it was relocated to Annapolis, and then the city eventually evaporated, became a plantation, and was kind of lost. And college opened there, and now there's a recreation of the old historic city as the archaeologists have been digging it up and finding. This was a small town, but St. Mary's City.
So there's a great little anchorage right off of the college. There's a free dock to go in with the dinghy, and they're very, very welcoming to cruisers. In fact, the college cafeteria is even open to visitors, so you can go and eat there.
Yes.
We did not. They didn't have much on their menu that looked appealing to us. But it's really, really welcoming. And so, yeah, we ended up spending 2 nights there. It was great to recharge after that 8-hour crossing. And then we did go in the historic city. Their trails are open after their touring hours, which are great for runs and exploring.
And then we went back and did the tour, got the tickets, and explored the grounds. And they have all these recreators who are, in period costume, very passionate about recreating the era and showing things off in all the recreated homes and buildings and structures. And then we actually took a behind the scenes tour of one of the active archaeological sites, where we actually got to talk to and interact with an archaeologist and see what they had literally dug up that day in little pieces of history coming out of the ground, and actually getting to witness it. It's not quite as exciting as Indiana Jones, but it was really
yeah, there
cool.
weren't many snakes.
No, there weren't many snakes. There weren't many golden artifacts. But it's like, hey, here's a little piece of a rock, and here's a piece of pottery, and here's a piece of bone. And then what's the story? What are the stories they're able to pull out of all this? And so that was really kind of fascinating. It was really kind of cool to check out this town. And at various times of the year, in the summer, we're actually St. Mary's, the college, has live music events almost every Friday during the summer that we didn't line up with, but it would be also a really great place to be for that.
Definitely a great stop. A lot of room there to anchor it. The water, however, while we were there, the jellyfish were coming. The jellyfish were coming in, and oh my gosh, I've never seen so many jellyfish, especially off of the boat. Never mind even in an aquarium. It was amazing. We did not go swimming.
Yeah, we were nope. But it was like looking into another universe of so many little jellyfish going by.
So anyway, after St. Mary's and we were rested up, we decided to go one town up.
Bay and just basically out and around to Leonardtown. We'd heard good things about Leonardtown as one of the highlights of the Potomac, and this is a place a lot of people skip because it is very shallow water to get up to the town dock, but it's really not too bad.
It's like 5.5 feet.
Yeah, so 5.5 feet. So most cruising boats, almost all cruising boats, should be able to get plenty close to Leonardtown to anchor, and then the town has free docks that have been just put in the last few years. A really nice set of free docks.
With power, 30 amp power, and a pump out station.
Yes.
All free to use, no time limits apparently on it.
Yes.
And the town extremely welcoming to cruisers stopping in.
Yeah, so we were first tempted to go check out the free power, but we discovered we're having a little bit of an issue with this town's super sensitive GFCIs tripping with our electrical system right now. So we weren't able to take advantage of the free power, but we did take advantage of that pump out and then just anchored out for the breeze and went ashore several times to enjoy exploring Leonardtown.
Yeah, Leonardtown's really cute. A lot of great locally owned restaurants. There's a natural food store there, so if you need to do some stocking up. Even further afield, there's like a regular grocery store as well.
Not easy access to the
not
grocery
as
store
easy,
by
not,
pedestrians, yeah.
it was about a 2-mile walk. And then there is ice cream, locally made ice cream. They
Cow
call
to
it,
cone, yes.
they call it cow to cone, and gluten-free donuts.
Yeah, I found Cherie. It's like, oh look, this donut place has gluten-free donuts. Not only are they just like one option of gluten-free donuts, this place does customized donuts, and they had like a menu of 30, 40 of them, and they could make them all gluten-free. And oh my
30
god,
or 40, but
their menu was
it was a lot of choices.
A lot of donuts.
Did not need ice cream and donuts. Thankfully, we're still running, trying to keep ahead of it. But all this ice cream on this tours, we're gonna have to paper it out here.
Maybe we have to pace up our running a little bit more. Get back to marathon training.
So anyway, our next stop was going to be Colonial Beach, and
oh my gosh, I've been missing you guys. Oh my, there's a whole bunch. Oh my goodness, I'm making a wait. Nice.
and we looked into it and discovered that the weekend that was aligning with us was their big river festival.
The Potomac River Festival, it turns out this is the biggest weekend of the year for Colonial Beach. I was like, oh, because there's not a lot of great anchoring space in Colonial Beach. It's a kind of a big inlet, but it's very shallow and there's not a lot of anchoring area. And then there's several marinas. So I called one and they're like, nope, we're full up. And then it's like, there's another marina way kind of further in where, according to the charts, it's basically aground. But I'm like, this marina must have some local knowledge. I called them.
Bayside Marina,
and super friendly, super welcoming. They're like, no problem, here's how to go, because there's not even pilings or channel markers or anything. This is uncharted territory to get to this marina, but clearly boats do it, and it's only 4.5-5 feet deep, but we only
high tide.
we only needed 4.
And Eddie, the owner, he says, don't worry, it's soft mud. It's
soft
nothing
mud.
to worry about. Plenty of boats get in here. I even get sailboats in here. Don't worry about it. You can do it. And he had opening over this crazy
holiday weekend
or festival weekend.
Yes.
And then that marina is actually right near where the festival activities
right in the heart
are.
of town.
Whereas all the other ones, you'd have a mile commute in. So it was great. We got in. Eddie's fantastic. The marina is fantastic. There's a Mexican restaurant right there
At the marina,
which is actually quite excellent. 2 Thai restaurants in town, right around the corner. Both excellent. We tried them out for you. Recommend them both. And then all weekend long, there was nonstop parades. Smaller scale.
Yeah, well, they had the fire engine parade. I think basically every fire engine on the East Coast comes down.
Well, they said it was scaled back this year. There weren't as many fire engines as normal.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, it's just a fire parade, and we met a stranger who's like, earplugs, you will need these.
Thank goodness for this.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
after about an hour of sirens going off, yes, definitely appreciate having the earplugs. So thank you, stranger, if you're watching.
But that was a really special small town parade. Then the next day they had kind of the Potomac River Parade, and it had a whole big pride contingent in it, which was really kind of fun to see, and the town cheering.
Yeah, and then there's a car show. There's supposed to be a boat parade, which apparently gets canceled every year for weather. It just seems to be the thing.
And fireworks, a really nice fireworks display. So
right on their beach, and they got nice sandy beaches along the Potomac River, so it's a popular destination for Washingtonians to get away for holiday. So great little stop. We would probably do that one again. Yeah.
It's nice because they had a food line that was easy bike distance. They had all sorts of restaurants, a ton of really good restaurants, and just a really great vibe. So yeah, Colonial Beach, a very cool stop on the Potomac. Highly recommend it.
A lot of live music venues. We did catch a community theater show there.
Live theater too.
Definitely the definition of community theater there. But love the
passionate, local production, locally written, locally acted. Kind of cool. Very cool to catch that.
Yeah. All right. So after that, our marina reservation was up. And it was a little choppy out there, but we decided it was okay. And we just went far enough up as the tides would take us.
To get past the nice bridge.
And it is a nice bridge. It is actually called Nice Bridge. And we just anchored right off of some cliffs off of Pope Creek. It was, for the conditions of the river up there, it was calm. It was beautiful having cliffs over us.
Yes, having primarily been boating in Florida, 3-dimensional terrain outside of our boat is a really cool thing. And cliffs. Nice.
Yeah, nothing to do there. There's like a restaurant you can go
Yeah,
ashore
there's a
to.
restaurant. We didn't go ashore. It was just nice to actually be on our own on our floating island for a bit, and enjoyed this. Anchored off of Pope Creek, right on the Potomac. We were kind of concerned, is this going to be protected enough? Or are we going to have to go further up one of these bays or something? But no, this is actually glass calm under the protection of those cliffs with the north winds coming down.
Yeah, the other sides of the winds we wouldn't want, but it was fine for those conditions.
Yes.
In the morning, we weighed anchor and just. Moved further up the Potomac to Matawaman Bay. I think it's called a bay.
No, it's a
Creek,
creek. Matawaman
bay.
Creek. Matawaman Creek is what it is.
Yep. And we just selected a beautiful little anchorage that felt very secluded. So often along the Chesapeake for us, we're going into these bays and creeks and things like that, which are gorgeous and we love having them. But so often they have houses looking down on us and us looking into houses and hearing lawnmowers.
Yes, I never expected that in cruising world we'd have just as much exposure to lawnmowers as we did back in the RVing world, but it happens.
So it was really nice to have a break from that and to actually feel nothing around us.
The only thing around us at Matawaman Creek is right across from us is the kind of where the military develops their incendiary underwater bombs and then disposes of them. So certain times of when they activate this
Don't
range,
wanna be
it's
there
where they
then.
blow up their excess ordnance right there. Probably not the good kind of fireworks show, but there was nothing being blown up while we were there, so it was just tranquil and secluded.
Yeah, so we decided to stay 2 nights there. Around the point is a public dock
At Smallwood State Park.
that gets you access to Smallwood State Park. It gave us trails for running. Got to work off that ice cream and those donuts. So it was great.
Paddleboarding,
We did some paddle boarding around there, and we had intended just to stay 1 night, but we just loved it so much we decided to stay 2 and not go to Occoquan next. And we didn't know bad weather was coming in, and a heat bubble was coming. So we did want to get to DC. We kind of had a timeline. We wanted to get to DC before all of that. So we only had so many days left to play around.
We were set to get to DC on Friday, June 20th. We actually called and said, let's get in a day early before these storms on the 19th, which gave us one more day. So Mount Vernon restored his house. Of course, we have to go check out Mount Vernon as our next stop, final stop before getting to DC. And Mount Vernon was really freaking cool.
Yeah, it's not only just a beautiful location on the river, it's pretty much untouched from it was from back in the 1800s.
1799, yeah.
But it is the site of George and Martha Washington's house. And it has been lovingly restored, kept over the years. And you can anchor right off of their house. So if this was 1799, we would have been their view.
Yes.
How cool is that?
And the wharf is the wharf where George would ship his whiskey and his grain and his crops, and this was his wharf, and is now gets you ashore to go tour his house and the beautiful grounds and everything else, and the view on the other side, everything on the river basically in sight of his house has been protected. So the view when you're up there is the view he had in 1799.
Just with us in it.
Except there's there's a Bayliner floating on there, maybe a few other tour boats, and you really get to appreciate the beauty of the Potomac. It's there. It's clearly why this was his favorite place. He's like, I don't want to be king. I don't want to be president for more terms. I just want to go back to Mount Vernon.
Yep.
I get it. He had his little slice of paradise there.
So definitely a great stop. You can tour the mansion. It is currently under a lot of renovations. They only had 2 rooms available open for touring when we were there. So apparently our tour tickets that we purchased, they're good for a year so that we can go back. So we'll probably stop on our way back down to Potomac.
Great anchorage, great place to go ashore, beautiful stuff to see, and so much history. And
Definitely beautiful. And we ended the evening with a swim off the boat, no jellyfish.
Yes.
And it is nice fresh water up this way.
And a rainbow.
A rainbow appeared.
Yeah, so rainbow, swimming, George Washington's house. storms and heat bubbles coming the next day, so we got up in the morning and let's finish our cruise up the Potomac, dodging logs.
Lots of debris out there. Oh my God, so many huge logs. And apparently that's quite common up here. And they just... And they just kind of stay as the tidal shifts, and they just don't. It's just part of the Potomac experience, apparently.
Yeah. And as you're not too much further past Mount Vernon, you come around the bend and you see the Capitol Dome in the distance and the Washington Monument, and it's just really cool cruising the rest of the way into DC. And as you get closer and closer, it's this monumental site in front of you. And well, we came to Capitol Yacht Club, which is right here next to the heart of downtown.
Right on the wharf along the Washington Channel, and thankfully they were able to get us in for a month. It is a splurge, definitely, but we are looking forward to exploring around DC. We're actually a couple weeks into our stay already. We're filming this, and we have been doing so many museums, but we will catch you up on that on our next video. So for now, let's get back to DC. There's some museums to go to.
And I hear there's going to be some big celebration fireworks something
Yeah,
on the
they do a
4th
little
of July.
fire. They do a
4th
little
of July something. They told us to check it out. So we'll go see if we can have something going on. It'll be fun.
See you next time.
Take care.
We create these videos just for fun, and we love having you along for the ride. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, leave a comment, or if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. See you next time.